Hey guys, welcome to the long-awaited succession guide video. I'm Reiki, and yeah, let's get straight into it. I'm gonna go with first with the skill overview, and then I'm gonna talk about some combos, some mobility, and also my add-ons that I also use for the tournament and channel use add-ons. All right, let's go for a skill overview. All right. So, starting from the top, we have the one really useful iframe into super armor, Fierce Disdain. That's your prime way to actually dodge other people, their grabs and their other CCs. You know, if you wanna actually fight somebody that usually not a grab class, this is a great way to dodge and punish with the stiffness. I also use that in a tournament, as you can see. You dodge to the side quickly. The iframe portion is not affected by movement speed slow, and you can quickly punish in the back with the stiffen. Alright, so this skill has a few techniques and a cancel. So the main cancel you do with the sturdy step, just a dash forward. You cancel the super armor portion and just quickly dash. Other thing you can use is to do alternate animation casting with Omua. Also, let me put on the display input so you guys can see. There we go. Dash to the side. Usually dash to the left side. I'm just used to it. You can dash to the right side as well. For the alternate animation, just forward R&B after disdain. Alright, second skill, Astro. So Astro is basically pretty much same as the normal Astro after the forward guard has been added to the prime Astro. Not the prime, the absolute. The only difference is when you hold it, it has an extra hit, but they both have still only forward out on the first hit. Here's the extra hit. And the cancels for Astro are the classic forward encounter R&B. So you have a chained forward guard, also an accuracy buff. Also, you can quick cast Infinite Nemesis by using your C button. My C button is mapped to the mouse function. It is. Just quickly press it. You know, your usual Infinite Nemesis is back C, but you can only press C for each of these cancels. Well, next straight up already touched on that is the forward encounter. Your standard jump, R&B or extra R&B. Quick forward guard, mobility, and your main accuracy buff for 12%. Moving on, we skip strike down, pretty useless. Low blow, I use that in the tournament, kind of a meme skill. But we get to the first part of the big damage skills, which is Boulder Crush. Full super armor, bound on first hit, recovery, and big 20% accuracy rate. So Boulder Crash has actually 4 hits, 1, 2, 3, 4, where the first 2 do less damage, the last 2 do higher damage. And there's a way you can just achieve only the last 2. So right now I'm doing all 4, and the first is a bound. But if I do it after, let's say, grab, frigid wind, or avalanche strike, it will only do the third and the fourth hit. That's how we like use it mainly for combos, because you're not getting a bound and you're also doing more damage. So let's say if I grab and see the super armor ends after the second hit, right? That only means it only does the second, not the second, the third and the fourth hit, which have naturally higher damage. Next up, we have Savage Hack. That's a skill that we will link to while doing the combo. It's also minus 20 DP debuff. And a stun on the last hit that usually you don't really do last hit. It's like 4 long hits. And usually you only use it in the combo or like quick hit, you know, debuff. But if you want to, both of these skills are really great against evasion because they all have 20% accuracy. Alright, the LMB RMB. You can also hold S. While usually, while I chain it from Boulder Crush, I do S and then I just S on a B and then I just press R and B. It will just quickly do it Both of these skills are low cooldown, which is pretty nice. Boulder Crush can also be used while on cooldown. Less damage, but Savage Head cannot. Here's the stun, last hit. So, quite unfortunate that it's a stun. If it could be stiffness, you could also use it as a great C series, but sadly we cannot. But it is what it is. Alright. Moving on. We have the claw reveal. Not much to say. The only difference is that you cannot use it on cooldown, so you press the spacebar, nothing's happening. The 100% ulti has been nerfed a lot. It's really not worth it. It will not do any significant damage, and it's a knockdown, right? Might as well save the rage for absorb or feed, you know, a rage target if you're skirmishing together. Alright. Moving on, Avalanche Strike. That's the main way to actually knock down people, even with Adamantine's meta, you know, it's kinda neat to have it. But in Succession, it's a really good down smash skill, especially if you're using down smash add-ons, which I was. They didn't proc for me sometimes, but if you use it, I think it's a great way to extend your combos. I can also use it as a filler and combo. Even if it fails, you can still pull the same combo off. Classic Shift L and B. There is no charge up. You can still do it. You can do it already from standing animation. And yep, that's it. He's skipping Beast Demolition, not useful. Alright, Mountain Slam. The only difference here from the regular Mountain Slam is just more damage. No, regular Shift F I think has a bigger range. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it does. And the damage is really great. It also has tier 3 add-on, so what I'm running is actually slow and bleeding on that. Alright, moving on, our Omua subjugation, nothing changing. You know, as I talked before, the alternate animation after AD RMB or after forward Q Blackboard Descent, right? Can be cancelled. The alternate animation can be cancelled with Story Step. The normal animation cannot really be cancelled, right? The best thing you can do is go into Disdain. Alright, next up, our Anti-Evasion debuff. So, what's best about Blackboard Circle is it's a heal skill and also gives you and your allies, you know, extra DP while holding. 19% evasion debuff when you have add-ons on it. And I don't think it doesn't really do great damage in combo because it has no down attack, but it's a huge AoE, so you can use it in like skirmishes and stuff, or in the anti-evasion debuff combo. Also, Blackboard Circle, same as, you know, the all Q skills and the Astro, you can link it straight into Infernal Nemesis while pressing C. Okay. Next up, Blackboard Descent. Touched on that before. Same thing. Only thing you have to watch out for, the end of the animation. There is a gap. You can see it. I'll link it into Omwa and then you will see how the super armor blinks, right? It's a small tiny gap. Hopefully that will get fixed soon. You know, gonna talk to the art devs and try to get that fixed. That would be really lovely. Anyhow, we're getting to our main damage combo skills, which is the Shift RMB and the Float. I'll both talk about them together. So it's Mutilation and Blackboard Slaughter. Mutilation is your standard float. The only weakness to this skill is the forward guy is not full. There is a gap right before the attack, as it says. But it then goes into full forward guard, Blackboard Slaughter, which is actually knockdown, down smash, and smash, air attack, down attack. A huge skill. This is your main damage portion. So what you want to do is actually have some attack speed so you can do the air attack, right? Because that has the highest modifier. You see, doing the air attack, that will do the highest damage. If you slowed, it will go into down attack, which is, you know, still decent, but quite significant difference. Alright, you have the classic E-buff, same as on Awakening, 10 seconds super armor. Moving on to the taken skills from Awakening, we have Frigid Wind and the Infinite Nemesis. Talked about this before. Pretty much same, quick cast, no wind up. And what is actually different is in Awakening, if you attack, there is a super armor, while if you normally land, there is sometimes a gap, and you should always use Frostlight in Awakening to cancel that. But in Succession is actually other way around. So if you do this landing attack, you can see if I do this then there was a significant gap after the landing. But if you don't land, you don't use the LMB attack, you just land naturally without attacking at all. You will see there's basically no gap, I think, at all. It perfectly links and the protection doesn't go off. So I highly suggest you don't use the LMB attack and only use, you know, if you want to finish somebody off because it still does decent damage, try to aim it, you know, move around, and quite good to actually finish people while they're running away from you. Onto the Frigid Wind. It's just standard forward C. It's a slide, super armor, and on when you press R and B, it's a forward guard float, like this. So this skill has three uses. First, it's just a super armor mobility, right? Second, you can chain it into a grab, which is the prime way I was actually catching people. It's really smooth. That's why I love Succession. You go into the quickest mobility and you just do this. It's so smooth, so lovely. Frigid Wind into super armor, links together into the grab. All right. And the last, of course, floating people into the float combo, which is actually the highest damage combo. I'm gonna talk about it later. Alright, let's touch on the secondary skills. Your classic Juggernaut, Rock Slide got a meme skill, and Frenzy. Frenzy, actually I don't recommend using it, especially in Succession, because it's an F skill. You can actually mess up sometimes and do it accidentally, and do it when it's on cooldown, right? But it's a bound's not really good lately, so up to you if you want to use it. One touch up on Juggernaut, the biggest advantage while using Juggernaut in Succession, basically pre-awakening, is that you can grab straight out of it with pressing E. The disadvantage is that it's a way longer cooldown than in Awakening, so be mindful of that. And last, utility skill, classic, same as Awakening, Mountain's Echo. Links into Juggernaut, actually. That's quite a difference, because in Awakening, it's the other way around. You do Juggernaut, and during Juggernaut, you can press Mountain Echo from hotbar, and it will cancel the Juggernaut and do the Mountain's Echo. In Succession, actually other way around. You have to do Mountain Echo first if you want to naturally link the skills together. All right. That's all skills covered. Let's get straight into the combos and the mobility. All right, so the mobility first. I basically have a way that I learned to move around in Succession, where all my skills go on cooldown, and then I have a disdain left if I want an iframe. So first of all, get yourself some attack speed, and then either you can just jump and do the mobility, but I like to have it fully protected. I do Astro into Forethought Encounter, into Shift, Oumuamua Objugation, which is an alternate way to do it. Is basically the game thinks you're sprinting, but you do straight it after Forethought Encounter, and it's naturally forward guard into super armor, still protected without any gap. And I usually land it on people, and it's a big debuff, you know, slows them with a Guardian Slow plus a debuff and gives them minus 20 DP, minus 20 AP, and for myself, defense. So I use that quite a lot in the tournament. Also movement speed. Here's how it is. So this is what I used. You at the end, you cancel the Oumuamua. I forgot to tell that. You cancel the Oumuamua with Sturdy Step, and I go straight into Frigid Wind, into the attack or into the grab. You can do both, but if if you're going against super armor target, just go straight for a grab. Otherwise, you can try and float and do the float combo. Here it is again. Yeah, that's my favorite way to move around in succession. Let me show that once more. Astro, Photon Encounter, Omwa, Sturdy Step, Frigid Wind, Grab. Alrighty. So, that's one way to move around. Other way is the simplified. If you just want the super simple, everybody should know. Disdain, Story Step, and then Frigid Wind, Grab. Or Disdain, Story Step, Grab. But that's the usual way how you grab in Awakening. You have to go in Pre-Awakening, do these 3 skills, but in Succession you can use these 4 naturally quite well. Super fast way to go for a grab. Okay, so other mobility skills are already Blackboard Descent into Omua, know that, and then Mountain Echo into Juggernaut to move around. Alrighty, let's move straight into the final part, which is the combos. So as Vert called it in the tournament, the bread and butter combo. I honestly watched it in the Korean tournament and took it from them. Quite a nice combo. It's super basic, and what you do is basically you have the bread, you have the butter, and all you add like extra things to make the perfect butterbrot. You add ham, cheese, and that's how you just bundle the combo, add some extra things, but the base is always the same. So what we do is basically grab, then we do 1-hit border crash, 1-hit savage hack into shift R&B, both mutilation into black belt slaughter, and then mountain slam. Alright, so how it usually ends up, it's a grab into float into air smash for high damage, and then last hit mountain slam. Alright, so this will be another alternation, which is a knockdown attempt. Usually the knockdown doesn't work. It doesn't matter if you have enough attack speed, usually with Vel. It doesn't matter if you knock down, it doesn't matter if you don't do anything, if you down smash. It usually works pretty well because you just fit an avalanche after Savage Hack while they are still on the ground from the grab knockdown, do not have it to do at the end. So there's high chance you will make the full damage combo instead of missing out on Mountain Slam at the end, which would be the other Dance My Supreme. But here is the knockdown attempt combo basically. Grab, Border Crash, Savage Hack, Shift LMB, Shift RMB, and then Shift F. So you do it early, so you can attempt a knockdown, and that is like basically no difference in damage. You can just put all these 5 skills together, it's super nice. The other alternation is you can do Shift LMB after Mutilation and Black Blood Slaughter, and I call that the Dance My Supreme. So this combo can be done even while slow, right? So usually even if you're 50% slowed, if it's a 5-second slow during the grab and the first 2 skills, the slow will come off. So this is a nice way to extend the bread and butter combo while being slowed, but it relies on Shift LMB actual down smashing, which you can increase your chances with having a down smash on it. Okay, so now I'll show you my favorite combo, which is the float combo. It's kinda interesting, but it is for me the highest damage because you can fit one extra skill at the end, and that's thanks because the Black Blood Slaughter usually down smashes, and yeah, still kind of relies for you having quite some attack speed, not being slowed. So the way it's done, it's you float from Frigid Wind, do Boulder Crash, Savage Hack as before in the Bread and Butter combo, then you re-grab and actually do Shift F, Mountain Slam, and then you do Shift RMB, you know, this classic mutilation into Blackboard Slaughter, and then Shift LMB, try to get another down smash, so it's 2 down smashes at the end, while you already CC capped, and then if they all down smash, you can finish them with Omwa. Hear it how it goes. So you can see on the training damage and float, but usually it will be trying to get 2 down smashes at the end. Which is, I don't know about the Shift LMB, usually doesn't proc, but the Blackboard Slaughter usually actually does, which is, you know, the float from mutilation. This skill is pretty good chance of down smashing. In the actual Bread and Butter combo, it almost always air smashes on most people at least. All right, now I'm gonna touch on the Anti-Evasion combo. Haven't been like using that lately, but if you have attack speed, you should be fine attempting the knockdown and going then into Shift RMB. If the knockdown fails, you should be able to float if you have decent attack speed. So grab, Shift Q for evasion debuff, Shift LMB, attempt knockdown, and Shift RMB, mutilation, Blackboard Slaughter, and then on the slam. And at the end, you can do Boulder Crash if they are still on the ground or they don't have a grab or something, because Boulder Crash goes naturally from Mountain Slam and you never used it in this combo, so it's a nice finisher because, you know, it's 20% accuracy, it does huge damage after all these debuffs. 100% want to incorporate that. Alright, next Anti-Evasion combo, actually, since Succession is so fast, you can do Shift Q, Shift F, and then Shift LMB, which is the Circle, Mountain Slam, Avalanche, if you have some attack speed. And this combo is knockdown only. It's really only relies on a CC from Shift LMB or a down smash. If it down smashes, then you go straight into casting mutilation. Alright, yeah. The only finisher you have kind of at the end is Obwa. Alternate animation, yep. And then if they are still on the ground, the thing is the air smash kind of like cancels the float CC really quick, so you might as well do Omwa and then jump away since you have the alternate animation. Alright, other thing that may happen to you if you casting mutilation, that you will actually catch people with the float. In that case, you can try, if you're quite fast now, the problem with the float is it doesn't naturally go into Frigid Wind, so you cannot easily do double float, but you can try and slide and grab if you're fast enough. Let's see, this is what kind of like catch them, slide, and then grab them again, and then let's say do Boulder Crash, Savage Hack, Mountain Slam. You know, try doing some damage while they're on the ground with your stuff that you have left. You can try doing that and floating them. Alright. Well, that's basically it for the Guardian. I'm gonna now show you the add-ons that I used. This is my setup that I used in the tournament. As you can see, the down smash add-ons on Avalanche Strike. This entire setup is made to shred damage reduction, right? You start off by grabbing, you initiate with the Boulder Crash, already giving you the crit rate attack speed because you kind of like crit rate in the tournament. You don't have maxed it out. And then you go straight into Savage Hack, you know, the 20 DP debuff with the add-on debuff and the PvP damage. Now you're like fully stacked. You get even more by crit damage down attack, or you can choose for air attack. You do that, and then you go for the down smashes if you want with Avalanche, and then at the end you just debuff them for 10% attack speed and 150 bleeding, the nice finisher tier 3 add-ons. And the only thing that's not a combo add-on is Omwa. You use that to debuff people and give yourself some extra DP, or you can swap that for like let's say attack speed, movement speed, slows, or bonuses. Now this is something that I would just recommend to use. Normally, you would swap the down smash add-ons on Shift LB for the evasion debuff and accuracy buff if you're generally fighting people, because then you will actually face like evasion targets, whereas in the tournament everybody was damage reduction on Guardian. But yeah, guys, that's it. That's my succession guide. Hope you enjoy. Hope you learned something. Hope you give it a try. It's a lot of fun, actually. It doesn't feel as clunky as, you know, Awakened Guardian in 1v1s. A lot of fun. You can actually trade a lot of skills, you know, a lot of super armors, some forward guards. Less overall protected, right? Because, you know, naturally forward guards, Guardian Awakening is all about that super armor. But yeah, whether succession guides is anything like really larger but really small skirmish, or being a grab bot, even if you put the ignore resist, like let's say in your Nuva, and then you are a grab bot, then you can actually combo people like fairly safe. The only gap that you have is on the mutilation right before the attack. The forward guard kind of gets out, but otherwise it's a fully protected combo class. All right, quite a long video. Oh my god, 26 minutes of recording. All right, I'm gonna cut it off here. See you guys in my streams. Please follow me on twitch.tv/RaikiTV, link in the description. Subscribe on the YouTube. Thank you all. Peace out.